It doesn't feel good. Describe just feeling
No, I mean, it hurts. This is never how you want things to end. I mean, it's painful, and as it should be. This is something we obviously all care so deeply about, and that's why it hurts so much. This group was so connected and believed in one another and cared about one another that it just makes it hurt and sting all the more.
Does it take a while for this to set in and figure out what happened, what went right, what went wrong?
Yeah, I mean, I think really at the end of the day, they essentially took 3 better swings than we did tonight. And, yeah, it just didn't go our way. We didn't, obviously, play good enough. Give them credit for, obviously, they've had a great year, and that's continuing on. Yeah, we just weren't able to get it done tonight.
What's the hardest part when you come back like you guys did and got back up at home and start able to close it out?
I think just losing. I mean, there's not one specific thing that is the hardest. It's just being done. Like, that's a harsh reality. I think sport, like just sports in general, can do that. There's only one team that at the end of the year, gets to celebrate, or everyone else, feels the same kind of pain. So I felt this before, and it doesn't get, more enjoyable. It honestly probably hurts even more the more you do it. So it stinks, and yeah.
From your experience, I assume with building off of the pain and looking at what you can do about it for next year.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's hard to give a good answer, when just emotions are kind of going. Like, there's not really a good answer for that right now.
The season as a whole, just can't look at this 5-game series, but the season as a whole, how do you look at this 2025 season?
I mean, obviously we did a lot of things really well. I think there's a lot, obviously, to be proud of. Just, I felt like Counts kind of said it best. Like, we represented this uniform and this city, extremely well, and that's something to be proud of. And, there's kind of, I guess, 2 ways to really look at it. Like, you can say we failed in a sense because we didn't achieve what we all set out to do. But at the same time, there's a lot to be proud of, just with how we came together and improved as a group and got to this point. There's also something to be proud of in that as well. And, there's a lot of lessons to be learned along the way. So it just stinks,
Are you connected with this group? We had often talked about it. Can you just describe the journey and what it was like going through it with these guys?
Yeah, I mean, each year it's so different. The bonds are so different and unique. And this year I just felt like everyone was just so in tune with one another. So playing games together, having fun on the plane, hitters meetings, just team meetings, team dinners. Like, there's just so much that we did, and we're very intentional about to stay connected as a group. And I think that's obviously what makes it sting that much more when you just build relationships with teammates and you're around them more than you are your own family, and you sacrifice so much time at the field away from your wife and kids and other loved ones to be with them. You just grow so close, and we all bond over this game, which is the beauty of it, but what also makes it obviously hurt in the end when things like this happen.
Dansby, do you think that's something that you can replicate next year, knowing the group might not look the same, and that same camaraderie?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what all good teams do. You find ways to connect and grow together. It always looks a little bit different, and there's different kinds of ways in which it can happen. But I know that we have just a really strong group of guys that are very intentional and care about, building those relationships.
Dansby, what is this year been like with Craig, especially in this second season?
Yeah, I thought, in a way, I felt like he was almost more kind of comfortable. I'm not going to say in his role, because he's obviously been a manager for a long time, but just, he's gotten to know the people a little bit more. kind of was able to implement a little bit more of stylistically how he wants to do things and just channels of communication and, trust with one another, really, right? Like, didn't know him last year, really. He didn't really know me, and just being able to grow together and just that relationship with one another and obviously with the rest of the group and staff and, bring people in that he wants here and all those kinds of things obviously made a big difference for us.
Dansby, just tonight's game, just what are the challenges being able to get extended offensive innings tonight?
Yeah, I mean, you look just both sides. There wasn't really anything on either side. Like I kind of was saying earlier, they essentially took 3 better swings than we did. And sometimes that's how the playoffs can be. And, they obviously, give them a lot of credit just for their arms and the pitches that they made. I felt like that they threw the ball extremely well tonight and, didn't make too many mistakes, if any. And when you have some of the stuff that some of those guys have, even when you do make a mistake, you can, kind of get away with it from time to time. And, that's kind of the game in a nutshell, really.
How much of a difference maker was Tucker for you guys this year offensively, and how much would you like to see a redo again?
Yeah, I mean, he obviously, like, the depth that he provides as a, in our lineup is so obvious. Like, it's almost stating the obvious that his ability to draw walks, his ability to hit the ball in the gap, his ability to obviously hit the ball over the fence, and just even the little things of just being able to grind at bats, can wear down pitchers, hits lefties or righties. Somebody you can count on each and every day to obviously show up and have professional at bats and do things that help the team win ball games. So anytime you can have a player like that on your team, you obviously want that. So.